Storytelling is a beautiful art of creative learning.
And with this beautiful thought, hello, namaskar, welcome to this new episode of the series Making Way to Hashtag Inclusive Community, a podcast of hope. A collaborative initiative by बचपन के पिटारे से and Little Storytellers. वाकई में कुछ सीखने सिखाने का बहुत ही खूबसूरत ज़रिया है स्टोरी टेलिंग, कहानी. Stories have the power to connect and change one's thought process in the right spirit. And the power of storytelling is such that it helps us understand our potentials. And we have one such storyteller as our guest today. The time zone varies, but she has been very supportive in being a part of our series. In today's episode, let's welcome Mrs. Eva Mehta, a lawyer, a mother of two wonderful adults, a storyteller, a YouTuber on World Tales with Eva, co author of a book, and so much more. She has been volunteering to help different organizations who support children with disabilities, difficulties, and the underprivileged children. She also has a channel on Instagram, Evie's Creative Cooking.
Deepa, don't you think our listeners must be thinking why a storyteller in this series, right?
Yes, Nina.
Okay, so let me tell. As we mentioned in our introductory episode, we will be having people who are experts and working for inclusion and acceptance. Eva ma'am lives in Switzerland, where she and her family are working with children with special needs, and she visits schools and institutions where she helps them by reading sessions. She has identified how to help these kids in improving their reading and other motor skills.
So, without further ado, let's welcome Eva ma'am. Hearty welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Neena ji and Deepa ji, for having me on your platform. I'm very delighted to be part of your podcast.
We are delighted to have you. So, ma'am, we would like to know what inclusion and diversity means to you.
Inclusion is acceptance. You accept a person the way the person is. You do not judge them, or you do not look how, what, where they are. It's just that you just accept a human being the way the human being is. That is acceptance. So whether it is their appearance, color, what they are doing, it's just you look at a person how they are as a whole, not as an individual.
Correct.
Diversity is all over in the world. It can be language, what country you are from. Of course, in majority of the world, in one country, there are different languages. People look different. We don't have to go too far. In India, north, south, east, west, when you look at, people are different. Same way, in your own household, also there is diversity in
Yes.
always. So when everything, your basic thing is that you accept and respect for what the other person or the child is.
Correct. So true.
Please share about your journey, your transition from being a lawyer to being a storyteller, and that you are associated with schools.
So I graduated from law school in India, and then I was working in India in a school teaching computers, and simultaneously I was studying law also. So I was associated with school anyways. And then after my graduation in law, I was working full time and then supporting different organizations in India. There was a blind men's school where I used to volunteer time to time, and then there was another school for disabled children. I used to volunteer there. And then I got married and I moved to the United States, where I started pursuing my law education again. I did that, and I was working as a lawyer in a firm. And then, of course, situation changed. My husband had to change. He got promoted and he was transferred to a different country, Sweden. So when we moved to Sweden, I had to quit my job. And then, of course, every country has a different law, different language. So to do that, I had to restart the whole thing again. So then I decided that I don't want, and by that time I had two kids. So I had to first learn the language.
Okay.
Kids were going into local school. So, when they were in school, I had free time. So they always needed help. And then because it was a Swedish school, the kids were not speaking English at all, very little. Only the teachers could communicate, of course. So I had to transition my daughter from English to Swedish. So I was part of the school helping around. And then, you telling them stories in English, not trained that time at all, just said the mother speak. I did that. And then from there, we moved to Switzerland. So again, another country, another language. So it was German. Then, of course, said, okay, I'm going to take a back seat from law because this is not where, and I always had passion to help kids, whether they are, it could be any form. Just go. I was volunteering in the school library when I used to put my son for 4 hours in preschool. I used to volunteer in my daughter's school in the library, and I substitute for the librarian and stuff like that. So storytelling started from there.
Okay, with the kids.
With the kids, yes, with the kids. And then, of course, during COVID, I thought maybe I should look for somewhere I can get, formally trained as a storyteller. I was just looking on Google and I found EduSarthi. And I sent an
Okay.
email to the director, and then I was formally trained and certified. That's how it started. But in the meantime, we as a family always helped some way or the other in the school with the kids, whether they had some issues or not. But all mothers are always helping out, whether the kids go swimming or anything. That's
Correct.
what it is.
Yeah. So that's how you connected with the schools and then you continued with your storytelling.
Yes, yes, yes.
So again, another question will be with the same storytelling part when you said you were helping your child in school and then telling stories to the students, which you started for your child. So, is there any difference that you find in the education system here in India and the place where now you are staying, the place where your students are studying? It's Switzerland, if I'm not wrong. So, what kind of difference do you find in the education system? If I may be specific, as the theme of our podcast of an inclusive community. So, is the school or the education system is inclusive? You know,
So there is a big difference between education in India and in Switzerland in general. So here it's a decentralized education system. You
okay.
have basic school till for 11 years, and
Okay.
then there is an exam. I mean,
Huh.
this is about this general,
Okay.
all the kids.
Huh. Huh.
And then these kids, there is an exam. It's a
Huh.
competitive exam where they
Okay.
check your logic, your aptitude, and in that, then they distinguish where you stand. And then it
Huh.
is the child's decision whether they want to go through the normal route of going to the high school and then from high school to university. The other
Okay.
route is that you go for vocational training from your school days itself when you are
Okay.
about 12. So in the
Oh.
vocational training, you are trained on job, whether you
Hmm.
want to be um, say
Continue.
ophthalmologist, whether
Okay.
they train you on job for say
Huh.
2 days, 3 days, depending on what program you are in. And then
Huh.
simultaneously you go to that school also. So it's not
Okay.
just hands-on. So they train.
Oh.
In that also there are another is that you go into grade 9 where there is another test where they check your language skills, German, French, Retro-Romanish, whatever. And
Oh.
then, yeah. And then again, you get segregate. Again, you can go to the university. And then while you are in the Sec B, which is where you are vocationally trained, after getting trained also and working, you can go to the university. Or then when there are kids who don't want to go through proper the channel regular, high school and then university, there you can go through vocational training. You, after all the training is done and you are educated, you get a kind of
Job.
you are certified, you have a diploma, and then
Okay.
you can go to work. You are a banker. Sometimes you're sitting in a bank. The bank manager,
Oh.
not a high university graduate. He
Oh,
is
great.
trained. So yeah, wow. Even in the parliament over here,
Huh.
there
Huh.
are parliamentarians who have not gone to the university. It is
Oh.
the vocational training. So that is an open system. Anytime you can, unless, and then for children who have learning disability, they,
Hmm.
depending on what, there is a big spectrum,
Huh.
right? Your
Huh.
degree
Huh.
of that. So if you have something very minor, you are
Huh.
part of the normal education system.
Okay.
And education, if you are in a local Swiss school, is free, paid by the government, everything.
Oh.
And if you
Okay.
are if you have a child who is disabled
Huh.
and cannot go into the regular school,
Huh.
they have
Hmm.
separate schools also, but they make
Hmm.
sure that child is integrated with other
Hmm.
children also
Hmm.
through music, through dance, through painting, through vocational training. These children are taught, evaluated through skills. Say there's a child who loves to paint, very good
Hmm.
painter. So they
Hmm.
will make sure that that child learns painting in the
Hmm.
interest, and
Hmm.
then that child is made independent because parents are not going to be around all your life.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
they need to support themselves. So they
Hmm.
will
Hmm.
bring
Hmm.
to you a point that you can become a painter, or
Hmm.
you do, maybe painting walls in somebody's house, or
Hmm.
you are an artist, you
Hmm. Hmm.
paintings are sold
Yeah.
somewhere. So there is
Hmm.
help. And
Hmm.
then say if you have the parents have financial issues, or if you are a
Hmm.
single parent, there
Hmm.
is social help provided. The
Oh.
medical part is also taken care of.
Huh.
And then there's a genetical institute where you can take the child is evaluated
Huh.
and there's support throughout. There are
Okay.
special, even in the public transport, there are designated seats for these children. They are,
Oh.
as much as they are
Hmm.
made independent.
Hmm. 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 That
And
means
they,
it's totally sorry.
yes, please go ahead.
It's totally North Pole and South Pole scenario in the education
Yes,
system when we talk about Indian education system and the education system in Switzerland. Yes, ma'am,
yes.
please, more, we are eager to know more about what you were saying.
So basically, what happens is, since our topic is hope and helping inclusion and diversity,
Yes.
so of course,
Hmm.
when you have a different child, the parent also is conscious, the child is also aware. They make the child aware, but not to an extent that it is drilled in their head. No,
Okay.
you can do it, and you are good at what you are doing it. So I can tell you a very short story of a person I know personally. So there's a lady who came as a refugee over here. She was married to somebody and they had two kids. And for whatever reason, the parents split apart, and that lady is a single mother now, and her older child is normal, doesn't, and the second child is disabled. So
So
this boy,
basically, so sorry to interrupt you. So
yes,
basically, this lady has two children, one neurotypical, as we call as normal,
yes,
and the other
yes,
one as neurodiverse. Is this what you want to,
Ye-
you're trying to say?
yes. So yes, so this boy has learned. He's about 16, but he's like a 10-year-old. So so he
Okay,
needs help in lot of things. So the mother
correct.
cannot work in regular, though she is educated, she cannot go normal working hours because you don't know. So this boy goes to a special school, and he, of course, he can dress himself up. He's on medication. Every month there is a doctor's visit schedule. So the whatever is required is automatically done. The mother has to not go unless some, okay, he has fever, you have to go to a general practitioner. They also are treated the same way. And the other thing is that this mother is so special, that she has taken courses to understand her own son, that how she can help. And she, if you see her, if you meet her, she's always smiling, never complains, I have, my child is like that or not. She's very proud. She's saying there's a reason why I have been given this child, because she believes in spirituality. So she says that, God thought I'm the right person for this child. So and she has accepted him for who he is. And she takes him to normal restaurants. Of course, she figures out that, it's not during the time when it's completely full, because he needs little more help. But he goes on the school bus, picked up by goes for whole day, comes back. He can speak his own mother tongue. He's fluent in German. He
Wow.
can read and write. And while he was a baby, there was a very sad incident with this boy, that boiling, hot cooker fell on him. So every year he has to still go for surgeries for his skin drafting. And then he loves to deal with money, so whenever they have trained him how to, the school, that they have trained him how to count money, you know how much to take, how much to give back, like a cashier. They're training him. So this, first he wanted to become a bus driver, but now he's
Okay.
changed his mind. He says, no, I don't want to be a bus driver. Okay, what do you want to be now? He says, I'm thinking, give me time. So the school says, okay, we'll give you time, you think about it. So this is the way it works. And hats off to this mother. And the older child is going to become a pharmacist.
Wow.
So yeah, so this is what how they, and then he comes to the fun fair where, small deals, like they set up a stall, you pay him and then he will give you money. It's all normal people like you and me also go there, buy things, come back. So that's the exposure they give, and they tell the parents also. So this is what it is.
No, that's really good initiative, and it's such a brave for a mother to accept that her child, because I have seen people who are not accepting their own self. There are
Yes,
times when we are doubtful for ourselves, and then
yes,
when we have a child with additional needs, it's very difficult for us to accept.
yes,
So rather than being negative about it or complaining or cribbing about it, such good thing to know that she is proud of her child, and she
yes,
thinks that he's there in her life for a reason. So yes, definitely this gives hope that yeah,
yes,
we should be
yes.
positive.
Yes. Hope. And the other thing I would say, that it could be any child, just a child. As parents, we should always have confidence in what your child wants to do. We should
Correct.
not,
Yes.
of course, we have to stop them, we have to guide them, but then you have to respect their some decision and let them think. In my case, I have a son who always wanted to be he's a creative child, so he
Okay.
always had the passion to become a fashion designer or a filmmaker. And finally he decided to go into film school, and we supported him. And just yesterday he had his movie premiere as a graduation. That's what they do. So he had a movie premiere, and he is so happy that he can now include the entire aspect of an artist, from sets to costume design to makeup to cast to writing, directing,
Great.
photography. So yeah, initially it was like, oh, you really want to go into this? It's not
Yes.
like a steady income, sometimes. But
Yeah.
then yes, he wanted to do it, so we said, okay, go for it. I have, as parents, my husband and I have never questioned him that no, you, or said that no, you cannot. Will you have to have faith in them, and then there
Correct.
has to be a bond where the child will not regret, have a fear that, oh, if I tell this to my parents, what will they say? So that
Correct.
bond and that friendship should be very clear. Of course,
Correct.
there are rules
Correct.
that they need to follow. And then I have
Hmm.
another one who's become a barrister. So, sometimes people
Balancing.
ask me that how come one, well, I said they are two different people. Not that she's not creative. She is, but she decided to go for law. She works as a
Yeah.
barrister. This boy is filmmaker. And it's a very proud moment that, he's come, his movie is called The Fate, and it got released on Sunday.
Oh,
Wow, that's
great.
good.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
congratulations.
So when you were talking about the incident about the mother, the special child, yeah, and about the sessions that you do, I was just curious to know about every time we hear parents of this special needs children asking, is there any way to tell them stories or teach them? So is there any particular technique or any other what you call, you can call it a tool or techniques that you do use while doing storytelling sessions for these kids with special needs?
as such, there is no, hardcore technique or
Huh.
anything.
Huh.
The only thing is, when you know that you are going to do for somebody who needs help. So what
Hmm.
you do is you pick a story that is short.
Hmm.
The articulation of the words that you pick has to be very simple. And then, so that they can understand, not complicated, high
Okay.
flying words where, the vocabulary is too fancy for the child. And you
Okay.
pace it. The pace that you speak is not that, you have to little bit tone it down, your pace. You are like, you say, once upon a time,
Hmm.
da 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 da
Hmm.
da, and you cannot
Hmm.
just go, there was a that doesn't work
You have
with.
to create your own pace
Yes,
according to the audience, right? There is no
yeah,
such tool.
yes, and the time. And then of
Hmm.
course it depends on what story you're telling. You can use hand gestures, you can
Hmm.
use props.
Hmm.
And then sometimes you also have to observe that sometimes, that's a day they don't want to listen to the story. So in the back of your mind, you have to have a plan B, and you can say,
Correct.
shall we play a game, something that, it is just like, so once I was in a session, and there was this boy, all of a sudden he got up and he says, oh, can I ask you something? Are you married? And I'm like, yes. But then I don't know what he says, but I really like you. I took a pause and I'm like, oh, thank you so much that you like me. And then he says, I think one day I will marry you. So you are kind of like, okay, what do you want to reply? I says, okay, we'll see you, when first we
When you
have
grow
to,
up.
so yeah, so and then he says, okay, and then I said, how did this come to you? He says, oh, I went for a wedding and that girl looked like you. So I thought maybe I can ask you. Okay, you listen and you smile and then says, oh, thank you so much. For asking me. And then you move on to the story again. So sometimes, things like that, they come up. It's a very, I think he was about 4 years old, not more. So he doesn't know what
Yes.
it is. So he just very innocently asked, and
Correct.
rest of the kids were looking, what is he saying? And
Maybe he was comfortable with you, and he just wanted to, he had a thought that marrying will be something where you are there with him, right?
yeah,
He's
the
not
thing
into
is,
the real sense of that.
yeah, the thing is anyways, whenever you do the sessions with children, we ourselves have to first be calm and composed, because
Correct.
we cannot be thinking something else. And then even if you had started with a bad day, they
Hmm.
can figure it out. So that is the biggest thing. Sometimes it's like, yeah, we do a lot of music with them, just singing or something you play, they really enjoy, the conversation. You have to give them a ear to listen what they want. Sometimes, you have two three things in hand, and then you say, what think, what story shall we do today? Okay, they would want to say, oh, no story. Sometimes they go say, okay, Red Riding Hood. Ah, okay, Red Riding Hood. So
Correct. So
that,
I think I feel we as humans, and especially children, and when we are talking about children with additional needs, they are like sponges, right? They can capture, they can feel the energy around them, right? And
Yes.
then they
Hmm.
adjust themselves accordingly, whether they decide to talk or whether they decide to just stay away from us, something like
Mhm.
that. Because even that was my observation, and when I was doing a
Yeah.
story session in the school where we had a lot of children with additional needs, so it was not easy for me to capture or bring them in the story. I had to do a lot of repetition, and like I was like as a storyteller, because when I'm doing it outside, it's totally different.
Different.
But
Hmm.
doing it with children with additional needs, you feel that the storytelling is not a success. You start doubting
No.
yourself as a storyteller. So, would you like to comment on that, Eva ma'am?
the I mean, first of all, we have to be confident that you are not going to be successful. When you are yourself are not confident that what you are doing is right or wrong, they can sense it.
Okay.
Hmm.
They can sense it. When they sense it that he or she is little bit not sure
Yeah. Yes.
what they
Uh-huh.
are going to do, of course
They'll
they,
make you.
yeah, so they can sense your that is a God's
Power
gift.
is more in them. Correct.
Yeah, that's more, they are more sensitive to feelings and stuff like that. So
Understanding human now.
yeah, so if you are regularly going there, you know then they also know you, you also know them. But when you are not on regular basis, you go and then somebody else, there's a rotation, then
Correct.
also they can figure out if you have been there number of times, they can
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Yes.
Sometimes you see that some kids are very open, some kids are like they want to
Introvert.
stay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they just, you don't bother them, you just let them be what they are. You cannot keep pulling them back, you just, as long as they are not creating a
Hmm.
big problem they are fine, they just listen. Sometimes they just have to say something in between. So basically it is sometimes, yeah, there are a lot of distractions also. Don't want to do the story. They just want to come show you things. And then you have to say like, okay, they want to come and show you, oh, look, I have this doll. Oh, you want to tell me about this doll? What's her name? And do you have many more dolls? Or this is the only one? What? Is her name Cinderella? Is it, whatever? Or, yeah, it can be, is she from Beauty and the Beast, or is she Snow White? So these are the familiar characters that you bring depending on where you are, because certain things are very, they like to, Disney is something they really know, because they
Nature.
are when they're little, they are into a lot of pretend play.
Okay.
As they come with pots and pans. What are you going to make for me? Yeah, they can say, I'm going to make some cupcake for you. Okay, let's make cupcake. Then you have to build a story right there and there.
Correct, 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 correct. So it is an instant story that is coming up as per their moods, and not, we cannot go with a regular story. We can't, we have to be confident. Like whatever comes on the way, let us put it in a story way that they understand. So this way
Yeah,
you keep them
so
connected.
yeah,
Good.
so that you can address that simultaneously, and then you can say, you know what, but I'm going to tell you one new story. We'll do this first, and then we go to the story that I want to tell you. And then you
Ah,
see how that, because there are
connect.
other things also, right? Sometimes you
Hmm.
are one on one, so that makes
Correct.
it more easy.
Hmm.
I hope I've
That's,
answered.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Sure. Actually, we, as a storyteller, when we are doing this, either using sign languages or something else, and all of a sudden, when we see somebody distracting or we are getting distracted, then we go on to them and sing and tell them that, don't do this, like this, something, and that is how another story is developing. That's a good thought. Now it's clear for us. We'll have to be more confident because they can sense us very easily.
Yes.
So yeah, I think now Deepa has
We have
another
to
question
be
for you.
prompt also. We have to be prompt also while doing our sessions with them.
Yeah.
So the last question that I would like to ask you is, what was your inspiring moment that made you realize that you have to help these kids through stories?
Inspiration for storytelling was, from the way I am grown up, I've seen for generations that there's always my right from my great great grandparents till today. They have been always been helping, whether it is helping the children in the Sabarmati ashram in Ahmedabad, the
Okay.
underprivileged children, or bringing social reform in the society back in 1800s. And then even now, as my husband and I and now my children, we try to help as many foundations as we can who need help, whether it is physical help, whether by storytelling, whether it is just being there, or anything that's going around, we try to support. We we have adopted a girl in Tanzania, and we support her. There's a school that is run. It's like a boarding school where they rescue girls, and then
Okay.
they teach them. They sometimes don't even have parents, so you take care of everything. You support depending on what you want to. You get in, you write
Mhm.
to them, you send
Correct.
them
Yeah.
letters, they write back to you. So recently I was part of publishing a storybook, and those books I sent to Tanzania. And after 4 months, the books have reached. And yesterday only I got a email from the girl saying that, thank you so much. I have received the books. And then we're trying to set up a storytelling session, but because of the internet connectivity, we cannot do it live, so I have to record it and send it to them. So it started with, my mother used to tell very good stories, so we used to always listen to her. And then, when I had children, I used to tell them stories, and then I used to volunteer at school. So it just went on and on. And when you're living away from your country, you need to make aware children of your own culture along with where you are staying also. So to
Yes.
teach them the language, mother tongue, to teach them Hindi, to teach them, of course, you're living here, so they need to know the
The local
language over
language.
here and the culture over here. So that makes it, through stories, you tell them, you make them listen to things. And of course, there's so much history through stories,
Yes.
whether it is India, whether it is Europe, whether it is America, whether it is Africa, there's so many stories. So, and
Correct.
then since the kids were very creative, very interested, they kept on encouraging me that, Ma, you should do storytelling. You're so good at it, Little kids I have in the family also. So sometimes, I play with them. I tell it can be, two-liner, but then yeah, the real inspiration for me to do storytelling or going and helping others are my children.
It was so inspiring to know your journey, ma'am, and the inspiration behind your work. That's really inspiring to me. And the suggestions that you gave about storytelling sessions that you conduct, it's really, I think it's going to be a good insight for all the other storytellers, because in common groups, as we know, we have often seen storytellers looking out for ways how to communicate with these special children or individuals with additional needs. So thank you so much for accepting to be a part of Bachpan Ke Pitare Se and Little Storytellers
Thank you.
podcast series. We are
Thank you so much.
I would like to thank you, the two of you, for inviting me on Bachpan Ke Pitare and Little Stories, and on your podcast platform, Hope. And what a beautiful name. Where there is hope, there is light. Where there is light, there is hope.
yes.
So let's carry hope forward. Like you say in Hindi, जहाँ आशा होती है, सब चीजें अमर होती है. तो आशा हमेशा अमर होती है. So hope is always
Ha.
the light.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be with the two of you, and I wish you all the very best, and that you can carry the torch of hope further. Thank you so much.
I totally agree with you, Eva ma'am, when you mentioned about the culture, the language, importance of connecting children with the language and culture of any place through stories. And the immediate quote that came into my mind is written by Nelson Mandela. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. And I must say, you very well made this point clear in your life and practice the same with not just your children, but with other children in your locality. Yes. And I also agree to your point that hope is eternal. And if I'm not wrong, it's eternal and ever existing. So, with such a positive note, we come to the end of today's session. Never lose hope. Stay tuned for the next episode. Until then, take care, stay safe.